World's favorite game, let's go. Back on the other side with another episode of World's favorite game. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm doing well myself, thank you for asking. It's been a huge weekend for sport. Last weekend we had, not last weekend, this weekend, we just had Spence versus Crawford. Shout out to Crawford for getting the dub. As I'm recording right now, we've got the Belgium Grand Prix on. Come on, Lewis. And of course, we've got a whole lot of football to talk about. That's why we're here. We've got some major headlines. As usual, we've got the biggest brands. And the headlines are: Wenger has a statue erected at Arsenal Football Club. Leo Messi has another incredible game against Atlanta in his first start for Inter Miami. Juventus have been banned by UEFA, and we've also got El Clasico to talk about. So those are the big headlines. Of course, we've got the running theme, which is probably going to be the story of the summer, these antics that are going on in Saudi. And the Women's World Cup is on as well. Man, I mean, as I'm sitting here in front of the mic, I can't help but think back to the last episode and that crazy story we had from Brazil. Man, that was absolutely bonkers. With the president and the referee and the referee's wife. I haven't got anything crazy like that to talk about this week. But let's hope we don't get anything too crazy in the future either. But yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's dive into it. I'm excited. Like I said, we got the biggest names, biggest brands. We got BBC, we got ESPN. I was a little bit all over the place because I clicked on one of these links and something else popped up. And it looks like what's happened is BT Sports, or formerly BT Sports, which is now TNT Sports, has bought out Eurosport. It kind of looks like that because I'm clicking on Eurosport links and TNT Sports is loading up. So that's happened. But yeah, we've got BT, we've got TNT, we've got Sky, we've got ESPN, all the big names. One of my favorite publications is Euronews. Shout out to them. They've got a little bit of sports that we can talk about here. We've got Yahoo Sports. We threw them in the mix, getting there, Yahoo. A little something from Fox Sports. Great piece from The Guardian and Marca as well. I'm absolutely loving what Marca are doing because they've got this scrolling feature where other related articles keep popping up in the feed. It's amazing. I'm super excited about reading more English content from Marca, and they're doing more than football, which is cool as well. But yeah, let's get into it, man. I spent way too long in this intro, haven't I? Let's dive into the stories, and I think it's only right if we do ladies first. Ladies first. Where's my manners? Let's go. So England 1, Denmark 0. Lauren James scores a stunner and gives the Lionesses the win, but Kira will stretch it off with injury. That's the headline from TNT Sports. Didn't actually watch this game myself, but super proud of the Lionesses for keeping the wins going. That's 2 victories they've gotten now. Hopefully they're going to be doing well and winning this World Cup. Lauren James, I think that's Reece James of Chelsea, his sister. So Reece James, the James family must be really proud. They've got 2 professional footballers playing for England, playing at the highest level, absolutely smashing it. Come on, you Lionesses. That's a great result. We've also got I've got my links in the wrong order now, haven't I? But anyway, we've also got this Germany versus Colombia match, right? So I was watching that just while I was preparing to record, right? And there's this teenager who I think is going to be one of the up-and-coming stars in women's football, right? Her name is Linda Caicedo, and she's a Colombian teenager, and she's got an interesting backstory because she actually had cancer. She was diagnosed with cancer, and that's like an uphill battle for anybody to fight, isn't it? That is really like the people who come back from cancer, we refer to them as cancer survivors, don't we? And so someone's really going to have some heart and some grit and some determination to fight back from that. And she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer at the age of 15. And she's come back from that, and here she is, 18 years old, playing for her country in the World Cup. And on top of that, she also plays for Real Madrid, and she's got some kind of record here. I've got an article here from ESPN where they said she became the youngest player to score in this World Cup when Colombia beat South Korea 2-0. And she scored today when I was watching the game. She popped up with a goal against Germany, and she just looks like the kind of player that's got really good timing, the kind of thing that Freddie Ljungberg was so good at doing for Arsenal, just timing the runs, darting into the box, getting on the end of things. And she darted into the box. There was a shot from one of her teammates. The ball ended up falling to her, and she just showed some really good feet to beat a defender and then to place the ball into the top bin. She's quality. I'm really looking forward to watching young Caicedo and seeing how her career turns out. It's great that she managed to come back from that little health scare. Not a little health scare. That's probably the biggest thing that somebody would face in their life, you know. So yeah, huge shout out to Caicedo. Swiftly moving on, I've got another article here, this one from Sky Sports, which has a schedule. So if anybody out there wants to keep up to date with what's going on in the Women's World Cup, if you didn't have some kind of a calendar or anything like that sorted out already, well, you got a little resource now. I'm going to put that in the show notes so you can see all of the fixtures. It looks like they're updating it in real time, so you're going to see the fixtures, you're going to see the results. And I've bookmarked it, so if you want to bookmark it, this might be a useful resource for you guys. I can see that England are going to be playing China in Group D. That's on August the 1st, so that's a couple of days from now. And it's not too long till the quarterfinals get started. So things are heating up, things are really heating up, and England are looking good. Let's go Lionesses. On from that, onto one of my favorite stories. Well, let's not mess about. This is literally my favorite story. The great Arsene Wenger has had a statue unveiled at the Emirates Stadium. Now, if you know about Arsene Wenger, you know that he is one of the greatest football managers in the history of the sport. Revolutionized English football. Everybody started seeing what he was doing and then copying his methods. And that's kind of, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that he's like a foundation in how English football is set up today, like with the attacking fullbacks and bringing in players with skills and really good technique, and the way that he focused on youth development. All the clubs are doing it. They're all doing it, and it's all Arsene Wenger. So a huge shout out to him. And I think it's a great moment for Arsene, a great moment for the fans to see this statue outside the stadium, because he is a living legend and he deservedly should get a statue. We all wanted one. We've all been debating about what this statue should be. Me personally, I always felt like it should be Wenger lifting the trophy, and it should be the gold trophy as well. They didn't make the trophy gold, but it is a trophy lift, which is fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And yeah, the man's got history, you know. I've got this article directly from the Arsenal.com website where they talk about this truly remarkable announcement. You know, they tell us that Arsene Wenger came in October 1996 and left in May 2018. So that's a solid 20-year tenure there. They say he's won 7 FA Cup titles, 7 FA Cup titles and 3 Premier League titles, including going a whole season unbeaten. Let's not forget that. I know neutrals might start rolling your eyes, especially Tottenham fans. You're not going to start rolling your eyes, but let's not forget that Arsenal have a different kind of Premier League title, and also that Arsenal went a whole season unbeaten, which is a feat that nobody has managed to equal yet. Yeah, everybody thought last season Manchester City were going to do it. Well, guess what? They might have won the treble, but they didn't go unbeaten. How about that? The Arsenal Invincibles, led by Arsene Wenger. What a team that was. And look at his record, man. We're talking 10 titles over the span of about 20 years. So it's pretty much every other season this guy's bringing home silverware, if you kind of average it out. Just, what can you say about that? That's legendary stuff. That is absolutely fantastic. So, a huge shout out to Arsene Wenger. Total of 49 leagues matches without a defeat, a top flight record. Also goes down as the FA Cup's most successful manager in the history of the competition. Come on. He's literally a living legend. That's no exaggeration. He is Arsene Wenger, and he has a bronze statue outside the Emirates. I can't wait to go down there and to have a look at it. I'm going to have to take a picture. I'm sure everyone's doing that now. I'm sure it's really busy at the Emirates Stadium this weekend. It's just a great moment. There's some quotes here from Tim Lewis, the executive vice chairman, and also from the manager, Mikel Arteta. I'll leave you guys to read that. I want to read out all of the juicy bits of info from that article. You guys can go and get that. That's another one in the show notes. Moving on to, the man of the moment, the man of the hour, the person that everybody loves, Lionel Messi. This Leo Messi guy, the fairy tale just continues. Just when you might have thought he might start slowing down, going to another league, and there's a lot of young players in there running around, he won't be able to. No, he just keeps on smashing it. Scored on his debut, came off of the bench to score the winning goal. Beautiful free kick, typical Leo Messi quality finish on that one. And all the stars were out to see him. All the stars, there was celebrities like Kim Kardashian. Literally, she is the celebrity. Yeah. So Leo Messi's the GOAT of football, and Kim Kardashian, the GOAT celebrity. She was there to take it in, and you know what? I quite like that she's doing this the soccer mum thing now. She's taking her kids around and they're going to all these football stadiums. I feel like it's a really cute kind of thing going on there. It's a really good look for Kim and her family. I'm really happy about that, man. That's awesome. And it wasn't just the GOAT celebrity that came to see the GOAT of football. It was GOATs from other sports as well. LeBron James was in attendance. Serena Williams was in attendance. These are people, real recognize real. You know what it was there? The real recognize real. I'm a goal, you're a goal. I gotta come and see you now that you're in the MLS. And I'm hoping this kind of thing continues. I'm hoping that every time Messi plays, there's going to be more impressive people in the crowd, because he played against Atlanta in his second match, right? And it was the same kind of thing. There was the celebrities were in the house. P. Diddy was in the house. DJ Khaled. So this could be quite a fun narrative to kind of talk about all of the celebrities that are coming down to see Leo Messi play. And maybe we can even find some little interviews with them talking about how much they enjoyed the game and everything. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, watching the game, I thought the game was fantastic. Oh, almost forgot. There was another little moment in the match, before the match, where when everyone's lining up and they're playing the music, they're doing the anthems and shaking hands and all that stuff. The mascot for Inter Miami was actually DJ Khaled's child, and the little boy, bless him, he was a little bit upset, and Leo was standing by him and consoling him and stuff. It was just you're getting all these little moments that are happening. These are the things that the fans love, and people cherish little moments like that. I'm sure in the DJ Khaled household, they'll look back on that memory oh, do you remember when you was a kid and you was the mascot and you were crying and Leo Messi was consoling you? That's cute stuff, man. But yeah, when you get Leo Messi on the pitch, there ain't nothing cute about that. He was an absolute beast. I wish I could have this article for you guys. I'm going to put it in the show notes, but you're going to need a subscription to be able to see. It is an absolutely incredibly well-written article published in The Athletic. Looks like Michael Dominicki. Am I saying his name right? Dominicki? Sounds like a Polish name. It's Michael Dominicki. It's something like that, dodgy Eastern European accent, whatever. So yeah, he wrote a brilliant article which kind of chronicles, it was almost like a minute by minute detailed account of what happened in the game, and he mentioned all of the celebrities and the sidelines and all of this stuff. If you guys can get an Athletic subscription, you can read that. And yeah, this is where I go into the Yahoo Sports one where they covered the match. They've got a couple of clips from the game. I might just play one of them now in the background while I'm talking. You know, you can see the fantastic performance of Leo Messi. This goal, it's like a ball over the top. Messi through one-on-one, just hits the post, and then he follows up to tuck it in. So good finish from Leo. Good like sort of striker instinct from him there. And in his second goal, it's literally only 20 minutes gone, and Messi scored 2 goals. And his second goal was a great team goal. Like Miami win possession, the ball comes to Messi on the halfway line. He sprays it out to the wing. The winger like gets onto it first time, just puts the ball into the danger area towards the back post, and Messi pops up at the back post, back of the net, 2-0. It was almost like a 1-2 because Messi picks up the ball, he drives through midfield, he plays it out wide ahead of the player to run onto it. He runs onto it. It's just like the vision of Messi and the weighting of his pass was so perfect. The winger just had to run onto it, didn't even have to take a touch. First touch is to cross it in, and it was like a very well balanced cross. You know, he didn't whip it in with too much power or anything, and he just picked out Messi, who made his run from literally the halfway line to into the 18-yard box and just tucked it away. Like, just fantastic football, man. That was a really good team goal. I'm super excited about Inter Miami, as you can hear. They've got all kinds of things going. I saw on their website that they've got like customized Inter Miami license plates now. Like, I mean, that kind of thing's illegal in the UK, but I guess that's legal in the States. You can have like a pink license plate with the Inter Miami branding on it. That's kind of cool, man. I wish I could do that. But also shout out to Taylor. Taylor scored 2 goals, and he was the one that set up Messi with that ball in from the wing as well. So Taylor, it looks like Taylor's raised his game and he's playing amazingly well, and he scored 2 goals in this game. Maybe Messi's helping to raise the level of all of the players around him. You know, I mean, how would you feel if Leo Messi comes to your club? You're gonna think, oh man, I'm playing with the GOAT. You're gonna roll your socks up, right? I think that's just par for the course there. Everybody's gonna be playing out of their skin. And Miami were bottom of the table when Messi got there, and all of a sudden they've got back-to-back wins. They got a win in the cup. They've got a win in the league. So yeah. Actually, it's cup. It's cup. It's the cup, and the cup is still going on. There's more fixtures coming up for Miami because obviously they're through to the next round, so they'll be playing in the week. And there is also a new signing. There is a new signing at Inter Miami. They signed a young lad called Facundo Farias. Now, I don't know anything about him. I haven't seen him play. But I know he's Argentinian, and he's come directly from the Argentina league. So I imagine that, you know, I'd like to think that before Messi signed, they were having talks about what they were going to do at the club. And maybe one of these things is, what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some Argentinian players and some players from Barcelona, players that you know, we're going to surround you with quality. And so, you know, having like a young Don straight from the Argentina league, who knows how good this guy could be. He could turn out to be, you know, like the next world-class player playing for Argentina, and he's going to be learning his trade coming up under the GOAT himself. So I'm excited to see what Facundo Farias' game is going to be like. This is yeah, I need to stop saying that word because it's going to get boring, but this is where I'm at, man. This is where I'm at. It's all big things are going in right now at Inter Miami. Yep. Swiftly moving on to another league. The story of the summer, the Saudi Pro League. These guys are not messing around at all, are they? So, what's the latest? The latest is Riyad Mahrez. Yeah, Riyad Mahrez leaving Manchester City and signing for a team in the Saudi Pro League. Like, these moves are absolutely mind-blowing. It's 30 million, so it's not the most money in the world. And so for me, that kind of raises questions. Like, I think eyebrows can be raised about all of these players. I said it on the last episode that there is some controversy here that could be talked about. I still haven't done any research into it, so I don't want to talk too much about it. But, you know, the fact that Manchester City is owned by the Saudis, and that these players are leaving Manchester City and going to the Saudi League, it does make you wonder what's going on here. Is everything all above board? Some people have been complaining about it already. Like I said, I haven't done any research. I've got no opinion. It's just interesting at the moment. Super interesting. Another interesting signing is Alan St. Maximin, right? Leaving Newcastle. Newcastle signed Harvey Barnes now, haven't they? So he can play in their left wing. Good player, Barnes. I like him. They've also got that Gordon, who had a fantastic tournament for England in the under-21s. So going to be Gordon and Barnes probably rotating for Newcastle on the left, and however else the coach sees fit to use them. But Alan St. Maximin has gone. He's on his way to Al Ahly, which is the same club that Mahrez has signed for. So just picture that. You got St. Maximin on the left, cutting in on his right foot, and then you've got Mahrez on the right, cutting in on his left foot. That is incredible. That's like Mane and Salah, Martinelli and Saka. It's like that. That's what they've got going on in the Saudi League. Like, yo, if you guys have got a way to watch Saudi matches, hit me up, because I still haven't got like a subscription, or I still don't know how to watch Saudi League matches. I still don't know a whole lot about that league, so that's on my to-do list to get to grips with that and to watch some of the matches over there and to bring you guys some news about what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I just mentioned Sadio Mane in this article here from the BBC. It also talks about Mane being in talks over a move to Al Nassr. And, you know, it's just, can you imagine? Like, they signed Sadio Mane, St. Maximin, and Mahrez are over there, and all of the names I talked about last week as well. Steven Gerrard is managing the club over there now. I mean, I think Jordan Henderson is there. I mean, it's like, yo, this league needs to be watched. And some people might actually be a little bit scared. They might be thinking that the Saudi League could be, you know, challenging European dominance. They could be becoming one of the best leagues in the world. I don't know if I'd be that worried about what they're doing there just yet. I think what they would have to do is they would have to level up their young players and be producing top level players from Saudi Arabian football, and not just signing everyone from all over the world, because all of the top leagues do that, don't they? In Italy, they've got good Italian players. In Spain, they've got good Spanish players. In England, we've got good English players. In Germany, they've got good German players. So I think Saudi are going to have to fill their league with their own Saudi players before they can really become a top league. And then, you know, when it gets to the point where all of the top teams in Europe have got Saudi players in their teams, maybe now you're talking. Maybe now they're really going to start making a dent. Maybe their national team's going to become a threat in the future as well. But at the moment, it's just super interesting. That's the story of the summer, the Saudi revolution. And Mahrez has always been one of my favourite players as well. I'm a huge Mahrez fan. I wished Arsenal signed him. When Leicester won the league that season there, when they did that, Arsenal should have swooped and we should have got him in, but we didn't. And he ended up going to City. But yeah, there you go. Swiftly moving on from one Gulf state to another. We've got an article here in The Guardian, and the title of it is Speculative. Right? They're saying, could launch of sovereign fund make Kuwait the Gulf's next football power? It's a really interesting think piece, this one, because they've kind of delved into history and they've looked at what's going on in the whole Gulf region. You know, they've looked at, I don't want to talk too much about it. You guys can go and read it. They've looked at a lot that's going on in the history and in the current time, looking at like the government and the politics and what's going on with the money situation over there. And they talked about how there's like a monetary fund, right? So there was a Kuwait Investment Authority which was set up in 1953, and it's one of the biggest. It has $800 billion. Let's think about that. Let's just think about that figure for a second. $800 billion US dollars is the fund for the Kuwait Investment Authority, right? And apparently they have 100 billion more than the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. And the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, the PIF, as hip hop people might say. So this PIF fund, yeah, it really is PIF, isn't it? There's a lot of money in that. And that fund owns 4 of their country's biggest clubs, right? So the PIF of Saudi Arabia owns 4 of Saudi Arabia's biggest clubs. So if you put it in terms of like UK, you could say they own Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal. They just own all 4 of them. That's insane, right? And as well as owning that, they also own Newcastle United. So that's the Saudi Arabia guys, right? But the Kuwaiti guys, in their fund, they have $100 billion more than the PIF guys from Saudi Arabia. Think about that for a minute. 100 billion more. Like if you wanted to buy Arsenal Football Club from the Kronkers, you could just break up a couple million, like a couple billion. Like, yo, okay, here's 2 billion, give me the club. If they want to play hardball, maybe you double it, 4 billion. But 100 billion, that's a lot of money, man. You can do a lot with that. And that's just how much more they have than Saudi Arabia. And we've seen how the Saudi Arabians have been moving recently. Look what they're doing with their league. And look how they own in big clubs in Europe. And this article is saying Kuwait might be next. They've got more money than Saudi. So it's a really interesting think piece. I'll definitely recommend reading that. Like I say, that's going to be in the show notes. What it says here is Kuwait wants to launch a sovereign fund called the Siyada Development Fund. And a government document said that it will accelerate the growth of the Kuwait economy, improve the quality of life, and bolster transformation and progress in the various fields of development through strategic planning and effective implementation of major development projects. So it sounds, like a global kind of thing, like this money will be used for all different kinds of things. But football could be one of their major development projects to develop the Kuwaiti football. Yeah. So, yeah, and what they say in the article here is the kind of language that's been used there is the same kind of language that's been seen and heard elsewhere in the region. And there's a feasibility study expected soon. So when that feasibility study comes out, that's going to be something interesting to look for. Whether they say it is feasible that we can pump billions and billions and billions into football, or whether they say, no, we've taken a look and we don't think it makes sense. It doesn't make sense for us. It's not feasible. So we'll see. But, from the Arab world over to Europe, we've got Juventus banned from European football next season. This is a article from Euronews. What can I say? Juventus have been banned. This is a really interesting story for me, because what's been alleged here is that Juventus have been accused of false accounting and of increasing their capital by 700 million euros. Now, they can challenge UEFA on that. But what UEFA has done is they decided to just ban them from European competition. They said, you guys are not going to be in Europe next season. It's a really interesting story, this one. So, the club president has apparently said that he regrets the decision and he's convinced of the legitimacy of their actions. But then it also says that he's decided not to appeal this judgment. So make of that what you will. They've decided not to appeal, and they've been judged of being guilty of false accounting and increasing their capital by 700 million euros, which is against the financial fair play rules. Yeah, the CFCB, the UEFA Club Financial Control Body, has found Juventus guilty of breaking financial fair play rules. Yeah, they say they've provided fictitious information on the amount of player transfers and they've underreported employee spending and salaries. And these movements have allegedly increased the club's capital by 700 million euros. So as a consequence, Juventus are now having to pay a 10 million euro fine. And if the club's accounts do not meet FFP requirements in the next 3 years, then that fine doubles. So the clubs come 7th in the table. It says earlier in the season, they were stripped of 10 points in the Italian league. And so, you know, when you're stripped of 10 points, that's obviously going to affect you from that 10 points is the difference between winning the league or not, or qualifying for the Champions League or not, you know. And so they finished 7th in the league. And they were going to be going in the Europa Conference League, but now they've been stripped of that. And to be honest with you, I kind of feel like this whole thing is a win for Juve, man. Shout out to the Juve fans. The old lady is most definitely winning, because like a club like Juventus, you want to be winning the title or challenging at least, and trying to win the Champions League, or at least just playing in the competition. You don't want to be in the Europa Conference League. So if they're kicking you out of the Conference League, they probably did you a favor. And if you made 700 million, as they reportedly said you did, and they're offering you a 10 million euro fine, man, just take this 10 million and give me my 690 M's. Are you crazy? That is a deal. Shake my hand. Done and done. 690 M's, please. Bothered? Am I bothered? No. Swiftly moving on. So we've gone back into Europe, from Italy over to España. Now, this is a story that saddens me a little bit, because it's about Arda Güler, the Turkish sensation. When I see this lad play, I've seen little clips of him, right? He reminds me of Martin Odegaard in the way that he moves. Like the way he moves, he looks like such an incredibly talented player on the ball. Just looks gifted, man. He looks different. Like, I'm not seeing other players move like that and be able to contort his body to fool the opposition, but you know, he can just do like a little body feint, and the player goes one way and he goes the other way, like, and it just looks effortless. Like he just looks like one of those naturally gifted footballers. Signed for Real Madrid, still a teenager. I was super excited to see him make his debut. I really wanted to see him play, and he's picked up an injury. And I've got this article in Marca here that says it's a meniscus injury. That's a horrible one. I've had some knee injuries and some problems with my meniscus before too, and I know that stuff is horrible. These aren't like, oh, you're just going to be back in a couple of weeks kind of injuries. This could be really bad news. So I'm hoping for the best for the young lad, but it's not looking good. Although Ancelotti confirmed in a press conference that he won't be playing in the Clasico, but he might have some minutes against Juventus. But then when the tests came out, it's just not looking good. So at the moment, they're not sure if it's a cartilage tear. He's going back to Madrid for treatment. And you know, they don't want to do surgery. We'll see. They don't want to give us a timetable either, because they're saying it's all going to depend on how the player responds and stuff like that. So, well, good luck to the young lad. Let's hope he gets back on his feet quickly and we get to see him shining for Real Madrid. That's what we want, man. We want to see that young boy playing football and absolutely smashing it. So, on to another story from Marca, and this is a big story. El Clasico. Yeah, and the headline is Barcelona takes a lively El Clasico against an unlucky Real Madrid. Now, I was watching this, yeah. This game was absolutely fantastic. Now, before this game, a couple of days ago, Barcelona played Arsenal. And the manager of Barca, Xavi, he just sounded salty, talking about, oh, it's our first game in the pre-season, and Arsenal were playing the Champions League final. It's the intensity is too much for a friendly. Whatever, man. Arsenal versus Barcelona. Everybody wants to win that. Who wouldn't want to win that? All of your Barcelona players would have wanted to beat Arsenal. and all of our Arsenal players want to beat Barcelona. Get out of here with that, Jeremy, man. And then the very next game they play, just a couple of days later, these lot are putting their foot in, doing all kinds of tackles, running, and like playing their best team. And he's saying, oh, the game against Arsenal was just friendly and the intensity was too high. Really? So the intensity isn't going to be high in the Clasico? Get out of here, man. But you know what? They absolutely smashed it in the Clasico. I'm not going to lie. It was a fantastic game. Both of the teams were going for it. Real Madrid had some really brilliant moments. Vinny Jr. was unlucky. I remember there was a moment when he was on the left and he was coming inside. He beat a player and he struck it and it kind of just hit the bar or the post or something. Just hit the frame of the goal. It's unlucky. Madrid are, without Benzema up front, you're going to miss him, aren't you? They brought Jose Lu off the bench. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly. Maybe it's Jose Lu. And he missed an open I want to say open goal, but the ball came in, he had a free header and he missed the whole target. He didn't even get it on target. And a big man like him, like, that's supposed to be meat and drink. He's supposed to be eating that up all day, every day, and he just completely fluffed his lines. So that wasn't a good start for him. In general, with Madrid, maybe Gula could have helped them because they're playing Valverde as a winger these days, aren't they? And they had this strange setup with Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo up front, which I'm not really sure if that's going to work. I mean, maybe it will against lesser sides, but against a team of Barcelona's quality, maybe you more want a recognised striker. Maybe they just felt that Jose Lu wasn't ready to take a leading striker role for them, or I don't know. But it was a great game of football, I tell you. Jude Bellingham made his debut. He was looking good for Real Madrid, the big £100 million man from England. I'm going to enjoy watching him over there. But Barcelona got the better of them, and there was an absolutely incredible goal from this youngster, Fermin Lopez. I'm just going to play a little clip of this, right? So Barcelona 1-0 up, like 5 minutes left to go. At this point in the game, Madrid are throwing everything at them. They're going hard to get back into the game. Barca on the counter-attack. Fermin, bang! He just smashes it from the edge of the box. I was actually thinking, he's not going to shoot from there, is he? He's not going to. And then he just lets the thing go. And this boy has got one cannon on him. Like, that was an incredible strike. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in the future. I think they're calling him Fermin Lopez. Or I don't know how to say that in a Spanish way. I won't hurt your ears with a terrible Spanish accent. But Fermin Lopez, he might be one to watch. And it was a left-footed strike, so he might be a left-footed player. And you know me, I do love a quality left footer. So he's a player that I'm going to be excited about watching this season. And that's pretty much it, man. That kind of brings me to the end of the stories. There was 1 or 2 transfers that happened this week. Since we last spoke, there's been a little bit of movement in England. I don't want to talk too much about Premier League and English football and stuff, do I? But yeah, I already spoke about Jordan Henderson. That's a done deal. Elanga has left Man United and he's gone to, I think it's Notts Forest. The one signing I'm excited about is Calvin Bassey, because I was following him when he left Rangers to replace Martinez at Ajax, right? Because Man United signed Martinez and Ajax needed another defender who can play left back and left centre back like what Martinez was doing, and they signed this Calvin Bassey, Nigerian youth. And just 1 season in Ajax, and now Fulham have said, yeah, we'll have him in the Premier League. So I'll look forward to watching him week in, week out next season. That'll be fun. And he's a player that I like, man. But I don't think he's the best defender in the world. I'm not gonna lie to you. He's not the best. Like, he's young, he's raw. He's got some strength to him. He's got some aggression, and maybe we'll get a face scan, so I'll be able to use him in FIFA and stuff. Yeah, I'm just really excited about seeing him develop, man. I think he's a good young player. I don't think he's gonna be a world beater, to be honest with you. So a club like Fulham, that could be a good place for him to continue his development, and we'll see what happens there. Another interesting signing I like was Yunus Musa leaving La Liga and going over to Italy. He's a young boy that came through the Arsenal youth system. I didn't even know that. I just read that earlier. I didn't even get an article for you guys, did I? So unfortunately, you guys won't be able to read about that. Yeah, or maybe I can search it up and put it in the notes retroactively. But yeah, he's gone over to AC Milan. So he'll be one that I'm going to be looking out for in the Italian league next season. Also an American international, so he should be playing for the US men's national team. And also Pulisic has signed for Milan as well, so it's a double whammy. They got 2 Americans in their squad over there at Milan. Wouldn't it be interesting if they also made a move for following Balogun? We know that Balogun's been listed by Arsenal, so that would be interesting to complete an American trio of Musa, Pulisic and Balogun. That would be interesting. But I've been rambling on for way too long. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, and for now, look after yourselves. Peace.